Hello, hello. Welcome to my home. I'm Lauren Rahovchik, and this is Get It Outta Here, a show where I roast people for having awful design. But then I show them how to fix it with the time-lapse sketch. Actually, that's usually the premise of the show, but today's episode is going to be different. The premise of today's show is the 4-day kitchen facelift that I did, a little remodel. If you are usually here, you'll know that my grandfather just passed away, so I went to his house in Greenville, South Carolina. The house is located in this gorgeous, picturesque housing development. There's like old maple trees. It's very established. There's like cardinals and bunnies and shit like that. So I wanted to make the kitchen kind of feel like it fit in with its surroundings, like a fresh country with a little rustic, you know what I mean. So I went down there to do this facelift, and I felt a little sick to my stomach because I was like, I don't know how, wow, this is gonna be crazy. The kitchen has like a polished granite and a Tuscan backsplash and these cigarette smoke yellow beige cabinets. I had a border over it with a lot of purple in it, and so my grandfather's wife, who was a very talented painter, pulled from there and painted their island a deep purple. There was floor-to-ceiling wallpaper, get it out of here, and a massive, heavy 6-foot by 6-foot banquette with a tiled table that my grandfather had made. And it was well made, but it should not have been made, at least for that kitchen. His kitchen used to be black, white, and red in the 90s, he's Italian from the Bronx. I saw that kitchen once and it was actually very cool. It was kind of like the facelift that they did to that wasn't cohesive. I know he was trying to go for a Tuscan vineyard, but it just felt almost like a cheesy Greco-Roman style. So let's do Grandpa a solid and show him what his granddaughter could have done. So the question is, how do we get this to feel like a fresh country kitchen? Let's start off with what we always start off with. Let's find our inspiration. So I found some cottage country kitchens, and this is my inspiration board. If I had a considerable more amount of time and resources, I would have painted the cabinets a warm grayish, and I would have carried the color up the beadboard backsplash. I would swap out the granite for a nice white marble with gray veining, a farmhouse sink, copper fixtures, everything like that. But that's not the world we live in. You know that AA quote, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can change, and the wisdom to know the difference. Let's go down what we would like to change. The cabinet color, the cabinet pulls, the wallpaper, the border, the backsplash, the countertops, the chandelier, and the eat-in kitchen area. Now, out of that list, what do you think would make buyers groan the most? It is wallpaper. It's extremely time-consuming and laborious to deal with, so that is what we have to do. But that's gonna eat up like 2 days of our project, which means we won't have enough time to do the beadboard backsplash or change the cabinet colors because we only got 2 other days. We don't have the cash to swap out the countertops, and I could repaint them, but that would eat up the other 2 days of labor. So I had to muster up a lot of the serenity to realize that I can't change a lot of this kitchen, but what I can change is still gonna look incredible. So my sister and I just hit the ground running. We got the best oil-based primer, but oil-based painting suck. But if you do 2 coats over wallpaper, you can go right over it with like a normal latex water-based paint. I matched the wall color to the baseboards and the crown molding so that I can move more quickly, not have to like agonize over every mistake. I matched the cabinet color and I'm going over the border, and that'll actually trick the eye into thinking that the cabinets go to the ceiling instead of just going to soffit with a border on it. We pulled out the cabinet knobs. We touched up the paint around that, which was when I realized that I only had a drill from 1991. I think my grandfather was still using this Makita. So I went to the neighbor across the street, Kim, and I was like, hey, do you have a drill? And she was like, yeah, I do. She came out with this drill that was even older. And I was like, Kim, this is out of the frying pan into the fire. And I would like to take it from you just to be kind. It's the South. But like my arms are so tired from painting that I don't want to lug that heavy thing over there. So then I called this contractor, Scott, and I was like, hey, you live down the road, right? Come over and give me a hand. And he was like, yeah, of course, what should I bring? And I was like, just your strength. And he helped me get big old Bessie Banquette. Oh my God, it was so heavy. I was lifting it up like over the threshold of the front door, and I just had to get this one last bit out. And I was just like, I can't, my arms won't even work. And then I called him again and I was like, Scott, can you send one of your guys over here? He's like, what do you have? I was like, can you take a chair lift out? He was like, and I was like, Scott, I can't understand you. Your accent is so thick. And he was like, okay, I'll talk slower. I just paid them and sent them home for the week. But you know, I called 2 of them. They're going to come back right now. So I basically did all of this with a screwdriver because I kept forgetting to say, Scott, wait, bring over a drill. Next up, we primed the backsplash, and then we just painted it the same color as the walls because I can't bring any more color in here because it will almost feel low, but it was still very bright. I wanted to knock it down a bit. I got a little bit of a darker grayish to do a sponge treatment. I initially made a stencil out of a tissue box because I wanted it to look like there were 2 tiles, but it didn't work so much. But I was proud of my stencil. My stencil was great. Not that anyone's surprised. So I ended up just doing the full sponge, and it literally looked like stone. I mean, it looks perfect. We got a table and chairs from a thrift store, and I really like this table and chairs because it has a farmhouse style, but it almost looked like a, you know, a Scandinavian simple table setting. We painted the table, kept the chairs the same color, and then I found chandelier on Facebook Marketplace. I spray painted it black and I was putting it up, and I literally was just like, Amy, my arms don't work anymore. It was the last thing we did. But yeah, we did it. We did this beautiful kitchen and we did it together. The best part of it was doing it with my sister. I had so much fun with her. We laughed so much. We shared one pair of Crocs the entire time. My baby started crying. Okay, I have to be quiet now. But that was really the craziest part of this entire thing, was the awesome cast of characters down there. I mean, my grandfather had such a nice support network. One person was just nicer than the next. We had the next door neighbors, Chip and Stephanie. Then we had his previous caretaker, Cecilia. It was a really cool time, and I'm just grateful that even though I didn't get to know my grandfather, at least I got to know like his whole fantastic group of people who loved him. I mean, diplomatically, my grandfather was not an extremely friendly man, and all these people just still rallied around him. He had a really cool group of people there. So I really enjoyed my time. I hope that you liked the remodel. I hope that it shows you that you can do it. All of the materials were $600. I was a lot more than the materials, but I'm just happy that you trust me enough to show up every 2 weeks and teach you new things, because I love doing this a lot. So that concludes our episode today. Thank you so much for joining. Please like, share, and subscribe. Ask me questions in the comments. Follow me on Instagram at Lauren Rahufchek, and then also follow me at Takeout Comedy JC. That's my monthly stand-up show. It's the first Thursday of every month from June to October. We have really awesome comedians. It's a lot of fun. I'm out of here, everyone. Thank you again, and don't forget, if it doesn't look good, get it out of here. All right, have a good one. Bye, guys. So I'm at Sprouts in my grandfather's car, and I don't really know, which car it is. And I just full on put all of my groceries in a stranger's car. They're all locked because it's a South Philly. I gotta get this out of here because I organized it. Into my car. New episodes of Get It Out of Here are posted every first and third Monday of the month. Please like, share, and subscribe.